to another Day Trip Travel Guide, where we explore as much as we can in a day trip in a town and take you with on the journey. Today, we will be exploring Denton, Texas. Located about 45 minutes to an hour or more, really depending on traffic, northeast from downtown Dallas, Texas. It boasts a population of just over 150,000 people and was established in the 1850s. Currently home to a couple universities, like the University of North Texas. Let's get on the ground level and grab breakfast to start out the day. Well, not so dry day. Breakfast was found in the center of town at Jupiter House. This is a local cafe shop inside a really good-sized building, including a bunch of in and out of house treats and a second floor seating area that gives you a nice little view of the historic courthouse. This was a pretty good spot where I picked up a Cinnamon Toast Crunch Rice Krispie treat, hot tea, and cinnamon roll. Before we continue our journey, let's take a look at our to-do list for the day. We have just finished the first objective of eating breakfast at Jupiter House, so let's mark this off as complete. We also want to check out the Saturday Market, which is the town's weekly market where local vendors go to sell various goods and wares. Play some disc golf at North Lakes Park, hike the North Lakes Park Trail, eat lunch at LSA Burger, explore downtown, and check out the free play arcade while we're down there, visit the fire hall and the museum that's located within it, visit a local bakery, go check out the thrift and antique outlet area, and finally grab some dinner. Okay, let's jump into the next item on the list, Denton Saturday Market. With some caffeine and sugar in our bellies, it was time to go mosey around the Denton Community Market, housing a variety of small stands to check out. With the looming cloud cover slowly growing darker as we explored, we didn't have a ton of time to hang around to try and fit in at least one other outdoorsy activity in the day. So our visit was brisk, but nice. Even though it wasn't a great day, this did seem to bring out a good amount of people from the local area, and generally we had a good experience interacting with the stand owners we spoke with. It's nice going to small local town markets to see some more homegrown products. I'm sure on a nicer day, this place is absolutely moving with more stands and people. But overall, this market is located within the Denton Historical Park and normally operates March through December at this outdoor location. And it looks like it will start an indoor location for the winter. That's at least what their site says. I didn't realize doing research on the town trip that this park has a few historic buildings within it, detailing some of Denton's history. This section of the park was seeing some additions and renovations and was only really partially open today. The main restoration project was on the Woods House, which is fenced off right here. The Bayless Selby House was also unfortunately closed today. Fortunately though, the Quakertown Museum was open and operating, so I decided to take a quick little peek inside to learn more about Denton. This specific house is one of the few remaining from Quakertown. Quakertown was an all-black community right next to the all-women's college near downtown Denton in the late 1800s and early 1900s, including some up-and-coming businesses and the town's first black doctor. Since the college started to rapidly expand and the higher-ups there considered Quakertown a blemish to the area, they quickly moved to pressure and gain influence within Denton's political system to disband and move Quakertown. By the early 1920s, they got their wish and started forcibly buying up the properties in the small community to create a park and make them move to another section of town, where a struggling farm decided to divvy up some of their land for anyone displaced and could buy a plot. Some residents tried to resist, but this had very little effect and really just slightly delaying the inevitable. Unfortunately, quite a few residents decided to leave Denton altogether to try and find a better life, with many of the more prominent members of that community leaving and forcing that once up-and-coming community to restart once again. This museum goes over some of the artifacts and the general history of this town, while also detailing quite a few of the prominent figures out of this little community. It's well worth stopping in and taking a look, especially if you're at the market already. We have arrived at the North Lake Disc Golf Course, and we are going to do the Creekside. Course here. There's a few different options you can do. The other one, I think that's called the Lakeside over there, and you have to throw over that lake. There's no way I'm doing that. This is the first time doing some legitimate disc golf. So let's dive into it. I'm pretty excited. This should be just like a kind of chillax activity. I think we'll try and do the front 9, which that just means we're going to do the first 9 holes. because we do have storms coming in about an hour, so it's supposed to get nasty. So I'm trying to get all the outdoorsy kind of stuff done in the morning. So let's just dive into it. Let's get rocking and rolling. I'll see ya when I see you again. Let's start out with hole number 1. It looks like I'm pretty sure we are doing B, which is 423 feet. There's no way I'm going to hit par on this, so let's get her done. All right, let's go check in. And we went a resounding, like, probably 50, 60 feet. So we're definitely just getting the front 9 done today. So I'll see you at the end for some putting. Was that 5 or 6 throws for 400 feet? I don't know if that's good or not. Let's move to hole 2. Keep it rolling. Hole number 2 is a bit muddy, and hopefully we don't overshoot it because, yeah, let's get her done. Alrighty, so we might not be able to do all 9. The storm is right there and we're starting to hear the rumble. So it seems like we're in a rush because we are trying to blow through these and try and get her done. So let's keep on trucking, enjoy this bridge. What direction is it? Over there? Oh, I see it, okay, gotcha. It's really hard to throw with this camera in the other hand. All right. 4. Oh, I was scared I wasn't going to make the putt. What a putt. I should not be looking at the camera for my putts. Okay, it's starting to drizzle, so we skipped 5 and 6 to 7. I think it's going to be our last hole. Yeah, we got to roll. This storm's like right above our heads. Okay, now it's a scramble. It's starting to come down. We're just getting this hole done, and we'll just tally at the end. Just keep going. Run. Uh-oh. Oh, good. That's it. That's it. 3. Nice. Okay. Run. Oh. 4. This is 5. All right. Okay, so you get one more hole in right next to the lot. It's the start of the Lake TV course. Oh, okay, we ran. Let's keep going. Didn't know this sport was as physical as it was. Here we go. Bah! Okay. Bah. Keep going. Run, run. Before it starts downpouring. Not bad. Shoot. Where's the nice? Okay, up here. Up here. Oh. That's a bummer. You just drop it in. No! After our dangerous game of throwing frisbees into baskets, we hurried our way back into downtown Denton to grab some lunch at LSA Burger and hide from the drenching rain. This burger spot opened here in Denton in 2013 and has opened a second location in the Colony during 2022. We picked up some tasty brisket barbecue queso dip as an app, and I grabbed a mushroom and Swiss burger. Overall, a solid spot. Since we are back in downtown and the day has become a bit of a washout, let's explore the center square and see what it has to offer and check in on the ground. Welcome to the historic square in downtown Denton. This is where we're starting our ways through this beautiful day of rain and more rain. This is where we start our second part of the trip, where it is just rainy, so it's plenty of indoor activities to do. And as you can see, right behind me is the historic Denton Courthouse. Now, that is currently a registered National Historic Monument. They're currently doing some restorative work to it right now. I don't think there's a museum in there, and I don't think it's open. Weirdly enough, Denton is known for a pretty decent music scene and has a huge jazz fest that brings well over 100,000 people each year. And another big festival to check out in Denton is the North Texas Rodeo. So let's jump into what this town has to offer. Some of the places to check out downtown include Norman Roscoe, the Chestnut Tree, Atomic Candy, which is a cool candy shop full of different sweets and sodas to try out, with a couple other odd items. D20 Tavern, Barnhart's Barbershop, and Tried and True Salon. Three Wishes Gifts, West Oak Coffee Bar, Two Gentlemen of Verona, Barley and Board, recycled books, records, and CDs, which was a pretty good sized reuse-it store that included, you guessed it, used books, records, and CDs. If I'm ever back in Denton, I would like to come back and take another look through here. I'm sure it's constantly changing with what's here, so it'd just be a cool regular place to stop on through. Welcome to the used record bookstore. This place is endless. I got a couple goofy little Western tales for the plane ride to try out. But yeah, like I'm in this like little secret corridor, but just wanted to check in, and this is cool. This is a cool little spot to check out. So if you like thrifting or just looking around for antiques and stuff, there's a lot here to look at. So let's keep on trucking. Continuing to more fun comics and games. Discover Denton, which is a shop with Denton merch and tells you things to do around the town. Beth Mary's, Cartwright's Ranch House, The Palm Tree, and finally Free Play Arcade. This was a fun bar and arcade where you pay $12 and play anything you want, which is actually pretty cool. In my area, $12 might get you like 3 games. I wish there was more places like this around here. It had a good variety of games between the main floor and the basement. It was the perfect mess around spot on a rainy day like this. As we make our way over to the Fireman's Museum, let's check back in on today's to-do list. We checked out the Saturday market and completed a little side quest there by looking at the available museum. We completed as much as we could at the disc golf course. Unfortunately, couldn't do the hike due to weather, ate lunch at LSA Burger, and just finished up exploring downtown and trying out the arcade. Let's jump back in the video and see if we can finish out the rest of our list for Denton. Well, the rain picked back up again, and let's see what happened. Alrighty, so it is downpouring. We're at the Firefighting Museum and it is closed. So we're going to keep on trucking to another place, and at least to show you this huge memorial here as it downpours on us. That beam is from 9/11. All right, we gotta roll. This is bad. We gotta go. Something I haven't tried out yet in one of these Texas trips is going to a local bakery. So on the way to our next big to-do list item of the thrift store mall, we decided to take a pit stop at Ravelin Bakery. This sweet spot had a lot more than I thought available in the front case. Unfortunately, I lost some of the footage for this section and do not have my overall review of trying out some of the goodies we had gotten. I'm pretty sure I picked up a couple goodies for the flight the next morning and tried out a goat cheese croissant. I remember that being pretty good. After the little bakery side quest, we found ourselves in the northern outreach of Denton within a good-sized strip mall full of antique and secondhand stores. This worked out pretty well with how messy the weather turned out on today's trip. The first store we ventured into was the Antique Gallery. This had a large variety of assorted items in like a stall, I guess, kind of manner, or whatever you want to really call this kind of style store, which I think each one of these like little sections is a different person running out a spot to sell some items, including some more random items, man cave items, old furniture, assorted sport memorabilia, antique toys, and old currency. That's just some of what's here. This store was much larger than I expected, and we could have spent quite a bit more time in here. But there is more to see than just this one store in this whole strip mall. So we went into another market called the Antique Experience. This was another large store full of different items to pick through. A highlight here was the back room that had a lot of old movie posters and comics to peruse through. Let's check in on the ground for some final thoughts of this spot. This town is kind of cool if you were really into antiquing or like thrifting in that. There's this whole mall with all of these antique stores, and there's also down there a big costume store as well. But downtown is full of thrift stores. So if you just want to kind of mosey around and you're kind of more into just like looking into antiques and thrifting, this is actually a surprisingly decent place to do it. But this is going to be kind of the main two stores we're going to feature in the video. Okay, before we go to our final stop and grab some dinner, let's do one final check on the to-do list and see how we did. The Fireman's Museum was closed, unfortunately, leaving us stranded out in the downpour. We found a good local bakery, explored the antique outlet, and we will be heading to a sub shop for dinner. Overall, I'd say we did pretty good with the bad weather and still enjoyed the trip. It definitely kept us on our toes at some points and created some fun ventures along the way. Okay, let's go grab some food and wrap this puppy up. We decided to hit New York Sub Hub for dinner to have something quick and easy for the evening. This little sub shop weirdly felt like a local dive inside, which was pretty cool and generally felt like a nice final piece to visit in Denton. I picked up some chips, cookie, and a small sandwich. That was all generally reasonably priced and pretty decent. Thank you for watching the day trip travel guide through Denton, Texas. This was a neat small city that was enjoyable to spend time in. Maybe I'll be able to come back here and explore more into that story of Quakertown as an episode in my history series. I'll see you on the next one.